Next in Line podcast, where we are helping to prepare you for whatever is next in line. As always, I am your host, Chance Pitts, and I'd like to thank you for tuning into this episode. Guys and gals, welcome back to another episode of the Next in Line podcast. Very, very happy that you're here with us. And as y'all guys know, we have a little bit of an ask that we do every single time the podcast comes out, and that is that if you receive value from this episode or any other episode of the Next in Line podcast, we would like you to share the show with like-minded individuals who might be able to receive the same kind of value that you have. That's the number one way that we can grow and to reach more people and, in effect, help more people as well. Because, guys, that's the overall goal here at Next in Line, is to help prepare people for whatever is next in line. As many people as we can help, that is our goal. Additionally, guys, you can help us grow by liking, subscribing, leaving us a rating or review on whatever platform you find yourself listening on. That's going to help us get a little bit more attention in the search bar whenever people look for self-help or personal development type podcasts, and it's going to give us an opportunity to get in front of new ears, if you will. So, guys, that's our biggest and most important housekeeping to get out of the way today. We had an awesome weekend. We went down to Port Aransas, Texas, saw some family friends, got to do a little bit of running around down there and just enjoy the beach. I did a little bit of literal running myself. I did 24 miles worth of running on the beach down there on Saturday. It was hot and humid and sandy, but it was exactly what I needed to help me get on the way to preparing for this Habanero 100-mile race that we have coming up in Cat Spring on August 20th. We're super excited about it. And guys, I'm also super excited about this coming weekend with the 4th of July weekend coming up. We're going to spend the long weekend over in Houston with some great friends of ours over there. And we're going to get to actually do some interviewing for the podcast as well. I've got a couple of guests that I'm super excited about getting in front of a microphone, asking them some awesome questions. I know they've both had some incredible experiences within their lives that we're going to get to share with you, and we're going to get to talk about and discuss and walk through and help you apply the things that they use to overcome these major obstacles in their life, help you apply those things to your life. And I'm super excited for the value that that's going to bring to not just y'all, but myself as well. But guys, today I want to talk to y'all about a awesome topic, one that I think is going to be very prevalent and very important, and it's going to probably hit close to home for a lot of y'all who are in this space, developing yourself and moving forward and achieving things within your own lives. And guys, I'm going to kick it off today with a quote from Louis Pasteur. And that quote is, "Fortune favors the prepared mind." And guys, we know this is true. Just from example, a small one here. Whenever I sit down to record a podcast, if I plan things out a little bit, if I put some talking points out and I go over what I plan to discuss with y'all, this show goes 100% better every single time, and it's just so much smoother and well put together as compared to just kind of flying by the seat of my pants and not having a plan whenever I go into it, just a specific topic. Now that might work whenever there's another person, I can bounce things off of each other, but specifically for this kind of show, it needs a little bit of preparation, and fortune favors the prepared mind, like we just heard, and it helps me move this whole show in a positive direction and be more prepared overall. Now guys, also with that quote, I would add in that fortune favors the prepared body as well as the prepared mind. An example of this is, how many of us has had to change a blown out tire on the side of the interstate or the side of the highway in the 100-degree Texas heat? It's a very physically demanding thing, especially whenever you've got that small little jack that comes with the vehicle. You got to turn it 1,000 times to get the vehicle jacked up properly. And if you're not prepared for something like that, it can really be physically demanding to do something like that, especially in that stressful environment and physically demanding and harsh environment like that down here in Texas. And guys, continuing on with fortune favoring preparation, fortune also favors the prepared bank account. Think about having to pay for that tire, pay for that blowout, the new one you had to get after you put the spare on and limped it down the road just a little ways. If you don't have a little nest egg or a little safety net saved up to be prepared for certain things like that, little emergencies that come along, you can really set yourself back. You can find yourself in a bind very, very quickly. So fortune does favor the financially prepared bank account as well. Now, guys, along with that, I would say that fortune also favors the prepared career as well. Now, what I mean by that is, think of the last time you received a promotion. Think of everything that surrounds that specific situation. I would imagine that you were very prepared, you were experienced, you were a dedicated employee, and you were probably overdue or expecting that promotion for a little while, given the actions that you displayed and the work ethic that you displayed every single day at work. You worked very hard for that position, so whenever it was offered to you, it probably didn't come as a surprise. And that is because you prepared yourself to be able to be in a situation to receive a promotion like that. You weren't some inexperienced new person that just started at the company very recently and not in a position to be ready to take on a promotion or a job opportunity like that. Now, guys, one of the last things I'm going to leave you with on that as well is that fortune also favors the prepared soul. Now, I don't get too much into religion on this podcast. There will be some aspects that I dive into my beliefs in Christianity and some of the different things that surround that as well. But we do hear different aspects where the soul being prepared is a very important thing. A person being prepared for the rapture, for the second coming, is something that needs to happen in order for you to be able to go to heaven. We see this theme of preparation being a key component of success within every single aspect of our life, guys. That's what I'm trying to tell you overall. We even see it in this podcast. The first thing I say every single show is preparing you for whatever is next in line. The whole goal of this podcast is to help you take on whatever it is that you find yourself dealing with in life. So, guys, preparation is a huge, huge thing that I want to talk about. And we really can't argue that it's something that we see all the time in life. I listed several different points out just a second ago, and there's a lot of different situations where preparation makes the entire difference. And so most of the time, with this knowledge of preparation being so important, we always find ourselves working hard and striving to prepare for the different opportunities that life will present for us. And guys, many times we find ourselves on the winning side of those different life events that come our way whenever we have prepared. And it's a great thing. But on the other side, we always find ourselves being talked about by other people as well. And while it is very important to not worry about many of the other opinions that you hear from people in life, you can't help but let some things be noticed and to slip past your defenses and bother you. And we often get slander thrown at us in the form of a certain L word. And guys, it'd be ridiculous to assume that all the success that we have in our lives and all the things that we have had come our way and just the fortune that we found is not, in some small way at least, attributed to this specific L word. But guys, it often happens that with all these people who are on the outside looking in, they just tend to chalk up our success to anything but hard work, the practice, determination, or whatever it is that you've put in time and effort-wise to accomplish the things that you've accomplished. And guys, the word that I'm talking to you about today is the word luck. That's the big L word. That's the cuss word for me. Guys, there's been many points in my life where I found myself being called lucky for just a variety of things that honestly have come from hard work and come from diligence. Now, like I said, there are situations where luck probably did play a little bit of a factor, but it didn't come from things outside of hard work at the very root of whatever caused that successful situation. Some of the different situations where I found myself being called lucky are even for things that are somewhat outside my control. Guys, I've been called lucky for being born into a family in which both parents are still together. And sure, that's something that is lucky, but there's other things involved in that. I've been called lucky for growing up in a nice house with a roof over my head. And sure, that's a very fortunate thing that some people don't get to enjoy. Guys, I've also been called lucky for having great friends that I can count on. And I know not everybody out there has good friendships. But I've also been called lucky for getting the opportunity to go to college, for having the opportunity to get a good job, for being able to find a good woman. and even for being able to be physically active and to work out and to run ultra marathons. And this list can go on and on and on. But guys, I want to say, yes, there's a small amount of luck within all of these things, but whenever you really drill down to the root cause of every single one of these things, there is hard work and there is determination at the root of every single one. And guys, I know that I am truly blessed to have been able to have all of these great things in my life. To be able to have the opportunities, to have the family, to have the friends, to have the home, and to be able to work and have the ability to accomplish some of the things that I've accomplished. But guys, it's not just as simple as luck. I didn't just wake up one day and have the ability to do all of these things or to have all of these different things. Each one of these lucky things, like I said, came from some sort of preparation and some sort of hard work. And whether that was by my parents, my family, my friends, or even myself, someone worked hard in order to make these things a reality in this life. And it's not just that, guys. We then continue to work hard so that we might be able to maintain and make these things sustainable and have them be a part of our lives for a long time. It's taken diligence and it's taken care in order to ensure that all of these things and more have continued to bless us in our lives and to bless me in my life. And guys, I want to run through some of these things and I want to change the perspective on them from luck to the hard work that was associated with these specific things. Now, guys, I am not talking bad about anyone who finds themselves on the wrong side of this situation. If you take this as a personal attack, I apologize, but that's not how it is meant. It is one of the situations where, while there is luck, I want you to understand the true diligence and the true work and change your mindset so that if this is something that you want in your life, or if this is something someone in your life is wanting, they can find this as well through hard work and through diligence, guys. And let's just start with the first one on that list, that was being born into a family with both parents still being together. Now, I know this is a touchy topic and a very unfortunate topic for some people, but I would say that my parents have gone through a lot of different things. They've been through some very, very rough patches, some very tough situations, and they've lived through some situations where it was very, very tough for them to probably choose to stay together. But they worked very, very hard at their relationship. They had the zero options mentality like Jocko talks about, and they didn't let anything come between them. They didn't let anything be the easy way out, and they worked through every single situation. And through that diligence and through the hard work and the patience, they were able to achieve that so that they were able to give my brother and I two parents that had a wonderful, wonderful perspective on parenting, on advice, on raising us as decent human beings. And that's something we are sure very, very lucky or fortunate, whatever you want to call it. But it was rooted in hard work and through diligence. Guys, the next one right here. For growing up with a nice house and a roof over my head. Sure, I was lucky to receive the opportunity to have a nice house. But there was a time in our lives, like I've talked about on this podcast before, where my parents found themselves in Section 8 government housing. Then they moved into a trailer house with holes in the floor. It was a single-wide tin can that was really rough around the edges. I'm not knocking trailer houses, but guys, this one was rough. And whenever we sold that thing and moved out of it, sold it for like $2,500 or something like that, and then moved into a super, super nice and fancy house. And everyone immediately went from thinking we were the poorest family in town to thinking we were one of the wealthy, well-off guys that were lucky and fortunate. And guys, the truth is it came from hard work. It came from diligence. My parents could have chose to stay in the same situation, but instead, they chose to work very hard and to save and move themselves forward. And they instilled those things into us and taught us hard work and taught us diligence, taught us savings, and taught us to be smart and to work for the things that we want in life so we could maintain that kind of lifestyle. So once again, we find ourselves back to the root of hard work. Guys, third on this list was for having friends that I can count on. Friendship is not an easy thing. We all know this. If you want to be friends with someone, you have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort, and you have to actually put in the emotional investment. Guys, you can't just form friends off the street and have someone you can count on forever. No, it takes an investment. It takes going through some things, helping them through some things, them helping you through some things. It is a tough thing, but it is worth it. That's why old friends are more valuable than most of the people that we meet in our adult lives. It's something that we can have and we can hold and we can cherish, but it takes true hard work. Guys, number 4 on that list was forgetting the opportunity to go to college. Guys, college was not a fun thing for me. It wasn't an easy thing. I worked for all 5 years I was in college to get a 4-year degree. Yes, I know that math doesn't quite add up, but I worked extremely hard so I could put myself through college, and I'm still paying off that debt, let's be very honest. But it's opened a lot of different doors for me. But it wasn't easy, guys. It wasn't this frat party every night, partying, drinking beer, going crazy, all kind of thing. I worked very hard for my opportunity in college. It wasn't just from luck. And there's a lot of people out there that go through the same situation. Now, I understand there's people out there who aren't fortunate enough to be in college or to have the opportunity to go to college. But there are ways for this to be achieved through hard work if you want it bad enough. And that's what we're talking about, guys. We're talking about the hard work and the diligence that's associated with this so-called luck around being able to get a higher education. I know guys that have had an extremely rough life, one of which I'm going to interview here pretty soon, and I know he wouldn't mind me saying this. He had a very tough situation that put him in a bind for a very long time in his life, but since then he's become an just amazing technician, a very knowledgeable person within the industry as well, and he's had some educational opportunities from that to advance himself in his career. So whatever situation you find yourself in and dealing with, you can advance yourself and you can move on in the forms of higher education or more knowledge or training or success, even through experience with just putting your nose to the grindstone and figuring things out to get the career that you want. And that's going to lead into the next point, guys, that I was lucky enough to get a good job. Guys, I was already earning management experience at the age of 19 while I was in school. While all my friends were drinking and partying and going to the chicken and just enjoying life, I was working probably 60-hour weeks while still going to school 2 or 3 days a week, guys. It was a very complex and hard thing that I had to work schedule-wise, but it took a certain level of dedication to be able to get myself in a position to where after college, my resume looked better because I had experience on it in management. I had a long career there. I was already working a full-time job, and it made me much more attractive to different recruiters and different job opportunities because I set myself up to be in that situation. Also, guys, next, being able to find a good woman. That's a two-sided coin. Now, I had to really work to be the kind of guy that deserved a good woman. I probably wasn't that whenever I married her. I was probably pretty lucky in that regard, but there was a certain amount of dedication and hard work involved in that as well, guys. I was working to go to school, actively putting myself through school. I had a good career where I was really working hard to prove myself and to get a position to where I would be successful in the long term. I had to show that I was the kind of person a good woman would want to marry. And on the flip side as well, she had to be the kind of person that was bettering herself and moving herself in a positive direction to be attractive and to be the kind of person that somebody like myself wanted in my life. It was a two-sided coin that was rooted once again, guys, in hard work and preparation. And that's the root of all of these things. And guys, lastly, all I'm going to say about the fitness and the ultra running and the things that are associated with me being lucky to be able to do those is if I can do it, coming from a point of a 32.3 BMI. Guys, obesity is a 30. I was an obese person. I weighed 235 pounds, and I worked extremely hard in my health and fitness, in my diet, finding sustainability, finding a way to train and get better. If I can come from that point in my life and as far gone as I was with being a terribly picky eater, a heavy drinker, and all of these other negative things associated with my health, if I can come from that point and become someone who starts to run ultra marathons, anyone can do it. All you have to do is put in the hard work, put in the time, be dedicated, and really, really work hard for the things that you want to achieve in life. Maybe it's not ultra running. Maybe it's just losing the extra weight that you're carrying around. Maybe it's getting stronger and having a physique that you're proud of. Whatever it is, you can find yourself doing the same thing, guys, if you just buckle down and you work hard for the things that you want. And now, guys, I've listed these all out, and I'm sure in some ways this has sounded like I'm bragging. It sounded like I'm taunting y'all with all the things that I have successful in my life. Look at me. Hey, I'm this big, strong, successful guy. And it's not that at all, guys. The reason I am putting this out there today is because I want to talk about the true point of personal development, which is hard work. It's working to achieve the things that you want to do in life, guys. All of these things that seem so lucky and seem so out of hand and unachievable to some people in their situations are things that are just 100% totally achievable. You can go out and you can literally do anything that you want in this life if you are willing to buckle down and work hard enough for it, guys. I am a living example of that. I know I'm not the most successful person in the world, but I've got a lot of great things going for me and a lot of great opportunities coming my way. And those are strictly rooted in hard work and determination. There's some of y'all that are probably in much better places than me financially, career-wise, whatever it is that you might list. There's a lot of y'all that are ahead of me in aspects, and you could attribute those things as well to hard work and preparation and pushing until you're able to get to places you're wanting to go. And that's something that's so important. I think that society, especially today with this younger generation and my generation, needs to realize is that you can't just get things handed to you. It's not this victim mentality and this victim mindset that we've all had here lately. It's hard work, it's dedication, and truly working for the things that you want. And sometimes things aren't going to go your way, guys, but when they do, it's because you have put yourself in a situation for you to be successful. And guys, this is for you to be able to advance yourself in a positive direction. It's for you to be able to build the life that you want. It's so that you can prepare to give your family, to give your kids, your grandkids, your friends, everyone around you, the best version of yourself that is possible. It's giving yourself the opportunity to move everything that you truly care about in a positive direction. It's to have a generational impact that carries on throughout your legacy for years and years and generations so that you can produce successful people, so you can produce good people from your family and your bloodlines. All of these great things that sound crazy and far off and even medieval almost. But guys, it's the truth. We want success to be our legacy. And guys, don't just leave things up to chance. It's time we put luck in its place. It's time that we prepare and we work hard for the lives that we actually want. If you want that promotion at work, guys, go out and work harder than everyone else. Show the boss that you're the one who deserves a shot at that next level. Don't just be another average employee that hopes for the best. If you want to be in shape and you want to be healthy, it's time to get intentional and focused with your diet and your exercise. Don't just jump from fad diet to fad diet and from hope to hope, just hoping that one day you'll be able to find something that's suitable and sustainable for you and that lets you not give up everything else in life. No, it's going to take some dedication. It's going to take some hard work. Guys, lastly, if you want to save money, if you want to get that boat, that house, that car, that truck, whatever it is that you're wanting to save up for in this life, don't just spend your money willy-nilly as it comes and hope there's something left over at the end of the month. No, set it aside. Put it in the savings account. Put it in the sock drawer. Whatever it is that lets you know, hey, I can't spend this money because it's going to a bigger purpose. Guys, prepare. Put in the work. Put in the work. Guys, get things headed in the right direction. Whatever the goal is, whatever is next in line for you, don't just leave it up to luck. Prepare. Work hard and then make it happen, guys, because no one else is going to do this for you. The last thing I want to leave y'all with today, guys, is another quote. I know we started on a quote, so let's go ahead and close it out with another one. And this one's going to be by Gary Player. And it goes like this, guys. The harder you work, the luckier you get. And if you don't think that's true, guys, I dare you to give it a shot and see where it takes you. It might just change your life. Guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Next in Line podcast. As we said, please make sure you're sharing the show with like-minded individuals if you receive some kind of value from the show. Also, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Next in Line Development. Be looking for the new interviews coming out, and always be prepared for whatever is next in line.